meeting of the Homes to order. And it's Thursday, February 1st, 2018. We're here in the council chambers at County Council. Does anybody have a declaration of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we'll go to the information items, and it's a long-term care information report about SOP and other interesting, RFQ, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam
Take
Chair.
it away.
Thank you. Today's report speaks to both successes and current challenges within the long-term care homes of the county. I'm pleased to report that the standing operating procedure for outbreak management has been completed and implemented in both homes. The first of its kind to be authored by the Department of Health Services, the project was led by Bruce Lee Haven staff. This collaborative effort involving both homes, our Human Resource Department's Occupational Health and Safety Section, Grey Bruce Public Health, and senior management team members was completed late last year. The foundation for this procedure was the valuable feedback provided by Bruce Lee Haven staff during the operational debrief of the June 2017 Bruce Lee Haven outbreak. This response plan allows for the application of complex activation and management processes required for effective outbreak mitigation to be applied in a consistent and quantifiable manner by the application of a number of daily checklists which described what is to be done and who is accountable to ensure these duties are completed. The document also provides prevention strategies and for outbreak drills to keep these unique processes fresh in the minds of both residents and staff. This plan was activated on Monday at Gateway Haven as a suspected outbreak was identified. The plan will continue to guide staff until the outbreak is declared over. Madam Chair, are there any questions in this regard?
Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, seeing none.
Thank you. Madam Chair, on January 9th, 2018, I received the initial findings of the Ministry's annual inspection for Bruce Lee Haven, which was conducted in November 2017. This annual inspection is conducted to ensure the home's compliance with the Long-Term Care Homes Act of 2007. These inspections are invaluable due to the insights they provide to staff and management about the care we provide our residents and the opportunities they present us to improve our services to our residents and to provide better support to our staff. This year's inspection findings were disappointing to the healthcare services team. The report highlights the effects of staffing challenges currently being experienced within the long-term care home industry as the root cause for several of the findings. The effects of existing staffing levels and schedules have had on resident services, such as bathing, will be addressed by having Bruce Lee Haven adopt more efficient processes currently employed in Gateway Haven, where all personnel, support workers, staff conduct baths rather than trying to maintain a separate baths-only shifts. The principles by which master scheduling is developed in both of the long-term care homes is currently under review and will be redesigned to address the issues identified in this inspection. A larger concern for health services management was the lack of timely reporting on several critical events to the ministry. A weekly Department of Health Services teleconference now reviews complaints and significant events which have occurred in each home over the previous week to ensure such reporting lapses are avoided in the future. Notwithstanding the valid observations made during this inspection, There are some areas requiring further clarification due to the ministry's interpretation of current legislation. The ministry's determination that a kiss on the cheek is classified as sexual abuse is an example of one such area. Prior to the inspection, the management team at Bruce Lee Haven were managing the delivery of care of an employee who was a new Canadian. New to our culture, this individual had a difficult time adjusting to the workplace, excuse me, and failed to understand an action such as a kiss on the cheek was not appropriate even when requested by a resident. This action of the former employee has been classified by the ministry as sexual abuse. Madam Chair, to clarify what the ministry's interpretation is in this regard, Regulation 79-10, Section 2, 1 to 3 states that sexual abuse means, subject to subsection 3, any consensual or non-consensual touching, behavior, or remarks of a sexual nature or sexual exploitation that is directed towards a resident by the licensee or the staff member. These matters will be subject to further discussions with the ministry. Currently, staff are developing action plans to address all issues identified by the ministry with the goal of full compliance with the required deadline of March 31, 2018. Madam Chair, would there be any questions on this section?
Does anybody have any comments or questions on that? I think the pendulum has swung a little too far myself as far as taking care of patients. It's almost like there should be no, it'll be like it was in the school system. You know, no touching becomes the safest. That's just my opinion. It's just common sense has kind of left. Anyway, does anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, so you can proceed.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, our next topic is regarding medical assistance in dying. In June 2016, legislation allowing for the provision of medical assisted dying, known as MAID, M-A-I-D, came into effect in Canada. Since that time, there have been no requests for MAID services in either Bruce Lee Haven or Gateway Haven. As of September 2017, there were 781 MAID deaths in Ontario, 41 of which were facilitated in a long-term care facility. 6 MAID deaths have been registered in Bruce County. Madam Chair, I believe it is just a matter of time until we are approached to supply or support the delivery of such services in our homes. Given the rights of long-term care home residents to choose their level of care and service, this new law is likely to have a direct impact on our homes. At this time, we are unable to support the delivery of such programming in either of the homes based on the complexity of the service delivery, mixed feedback from staff and medical directors on this matter, and the likely effect such activity would have on other residents. Our current protocol is to advise residents looking for such assistance that these services cannot be provided or facilitated within the homes until such matters are studied further and recommendations are brought to Council for their consideration.
I think we should just have a brief discussion. Mike?
Yeah, I don't, and I apologize, I don't know the legislation, but does the legislation obligate the homes to provide a service of this nature?
We'd have to seek further clarification on that, Madam Chair. There is an option for staff to, based on conflict of interest, to stay away from these procedures or not be involved in them. The exact ability or clarity as to the homes being able to stay out of this is not clear, though it is suspected that some of the homes with a religious base will look to not provide this service. I'd have to look further into that, Madam Chair, too.
Does anybody else have any comments? I think we need more information in the report as to our obligations. You know, obviously it's, it has implications that we might not be aware of, or we need to discuss it further, I feel. Is there a consensus? Mike?
I'd say I would like to know what our obligations are under the Act and what our options are, so that, I'm sure you're probably, you talked about further study there, Michael, I'm sure that's what it is, but I'd like to bring it back to the committee so we can all be enlightened by what's in the legislation.
Okay.
Madam Chair, we brought that up in the spirit of just a stopgap. As we look into this further, we just wanted to clarify what we would respond if asked. We have not been asked. We don't anticipate any asks in the future, but we will bring back a supplemental report on this.
Well, I would think at the present, you'd say we just are not equipped to be dealing with
right.
this at this time, and we're looking into it.
That's-
That would be my hope, unless anybody else has any input. Do we need a motion to that effect, that a report be brought back, or we just give direction, Kelly?
And through you, Madam Chair, that the direction provided by consensus was sufficient.
Okay, thank you. Good. Now, next, scheduling.
Next and final item, Madam Chair, is regarding centralized scheduling. Madam Chair, the creation of the centralized scheduling office for the Department of Health Services is a main objective of the 2018 Bruce County Health Services Business Plan. Our goal is to have all scheduling activity transferred from Paramedic Services Bruce Lee Haven, Gateway Haven to a centralized office by June 2018. This consolidation will allow for the sharing of best practices amongst the various divisions, greater compliance with collective agreements, and a more effective use of staff time. The office is now open and is in the process of upstaffing to increase its daily scheduling capacity. Since November, the office has been assisting in the development of master schedules for both Bruce Lee Haven and Paramedic Services, the creation and monitoring of key performance indicators for issues sensitive to scheduling errors, the development of standard operating processes for the requesting of time off and for the calling in of staff to backfill shifts in both Bruce Lee Haven and Paramedic Services. Currently, the centralized scheduling office is focusing on the development of enhanced master schedule for Bruce Lee Haven to address issues identified in the facility's most recent resident quality inspection report. Madam Chair, would there be any questions?
Yes. Does anybody have any comments or questions? So the office is in one of the homes, or?
No, ma'am. It's right now.
It's right here?
It's right here in this building, and we're looking to make different arrangements to get a little bigger one, but we're in this building.
Oh, okay. All right. Did anybody else have any questions? Okay. So that's just looking at the agenda, your report. Thank you for your report. That's good information. And you've received some direction. Our next meeting is March 1st, 2018, and I need a motion to adjourn. Moved by Robert and second by Mitch. All in favor? Okay, and we're adjourned. Thank you.